Canelo versus Benavidez, man. That's a great fucking fight, man. That's a great fucking fight. First of all, they both Mexican, so that's a big fight for Mexico. You know what I'm saying? That's a big Mexican fight. Two Mexicans, you know what I'm saying? One a former champion, one a champion. That's the big fucking fight right there. But beyond that, looking at the styles, you have David Benavidez, who he's a punches and bunches kind of dude. He's a punches and bunches kind of dude. Yes, sir, Resurrected Soul. All day. David Benavidez is a punches and bunches kind of dude, man. And Canelo's really a counter puncher. Canelo's really a catch you in spots kind of guy. He's one of those dudes. Canelo is. So if David is throwing if he's throwing a bunch of punches like what he likes to do, you know what I'm saying? And Canelo catches him in between one of those punches, it could stop David. That could be an early night for David. All those punches he likes throwing in bunches. But at the same time, because Canelo's work rate at most times is so very low, he could easily be outworked by David Benavidez. Or David Benavidez could easily just overwhelm him with the amount of punches that he throws and stop Canelo. That would be very interesting. That would be a very interesting fight. Canelo versus David Benavidez. That would be a very interesting fight. Very, very interesting. Resurrected Soul says, I believe Benavidez is the reason Canelo said he won't fight Mexicans. I suspect that as well. I feel like there are a lot of clues that point to that. 100. Resurrected Soul also says, I think Benavidez is a great fighter, especially considering his age. I think dude is about 22. He just needs better work ethic, and he's going to beat Canelo. I think so too. I think there's a very good chance of him beating Canelo. Canelo is most definitely him and his trainers, they've done, as much as I do not agree with a lot of what Canelo does. I mean, there's a lot, bro. I could do a whole live talking about Canelo. As much as I do not agree with what Canelo does and how he moves, his trainers have done a very good job moving him in a way where they're matching him up with certain fighters that would be easy matchups for him. So it works out to where Canelo gets a good name on his resume. He gets a good name, but really the stylistic matchup works out in a way where Canelo's in a good situation. He's fighting a style he likes to fight. Really. He's fighting one of those styles that he likes. Canelo has maybe like 2 or 3 styles that he really likes. You know what I'm saying? He got about 2 or 3 styles that he really likes, and he looks for opponents that fit that criteria. You know what I'm saying? And if they have a big name and if they have a belt, that's even better for Canelo. But he stays away from certain little styles that give him problems, and Benavidez is one of those styles. He does not like punches and bunches. He does not like slick fighters. Benavidez is a punches and bunches kind of guy. But here's the thing. As far as Benavidez is concerned, his style versus Canelo's style, to me, would make for a very entertaining fight. Because it'd be like one of those fights where you kind of sitting at the edge of your seat, like waiting for, you know what I mean? You trying to see what's happening, because if you turn away for a second, somebody could get knocked out. Because David's throwing a million punches and Canelo's trying to time him coming in. But just as easily as they could both stop each other, they could both win. And that's what Canelo doesn't like. That's what Canelo doesn't like. And here's the thing. I think people like Demetrius Andrade and Jamal Charlo, I think people like that should definitely take preference over David Benavidez as far as a shot at Canelo. But I feel like those fights wouldn't be as good as a Benavidez versus Canelo, because them dudes are more slick. Them dudes are gonna more outbox Canelo. A Benavidez versus Canelo fight is gonna be a edge of your seat. I'm losing my breath. I can't turn away for a second because anything can happen. White Play On says, I like Canelo's defense. Yeah, Canelo got a pretty good defense. He has a pretty good. He has some. He's gotten a lot better since he fought Floyd Mayweather. You know what I mean? He's learned how to move his head a lot more. He's not as stiff. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely gotten a lot better. White Play On also says Benavidez is scary. He has a body like Chavez Sr. Not real muscular, but way strong and in conditioned. Yeah. Oh yeah, man. He's a good. You gotta be in condition to throw all them damn punches that David Benavidez fights. You know how David Benavidez fights to me? You guys remember Paul Williams? Back in the day, man, Paul Williams, he used to throw a bunch of punches like that. He kind of reminds me a little bit of David Benavidez. Also, Joe Calzaghe, he was another one that fought like that, punches and bunches and, you know, throwing a whole lot at one point and, you know, just kind of balls to the wall with all the punches. Amir Khan was another one, you know what I'm saying? Amir Khan could have got a lot farther with that style if his chin was a little better. He would have beat a lot of guys, you know what I'm saying? Amir Khan. Fighters that throw punches and bunches. He doesn't like those kind of fighters. He doesn't like fighters that throw a lot of punches like that. Because if you see, Amir Khan was actually beating Canelo until he got knocked the fuck out. Amir Khan was actually beating Canelo until he got knocked the fuck out. If that fight would have went on like that with Amir Khan, Canelo would have lost. Easily. He easily would have lost. Terry Spoon says Amir Khan was all up on the scorecards until his chin got touched. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Once that chin was touched, it was a short night. It was a very short night once that chin got touched. Yes, sir. Even when Lara fought Canelo, Lara could have beat Canelo. A lot of people think Lara beat Canelo. A lot of people think Lara beat Canelo. Okay, but Lara could have really solidified that win if he would have put some punches in, if he would have put a few more punches in there. He could have really solidified that win if he would have threw a few more shots. If he would have made it a 1-2-3-4 instead of a 1-2 and moving up out the way. Now, Canelo was real dangerous because Canelo was looking for that. You know what I'm saying? And that's not a style that Lara is used to fighting. And Lara is not trying to take any kind of risks in fights. But that's how you're going to beat Canelo. You're not going to beat Canelo by throwing 1 or 2 punches. Even if you like win the fight, you're not going to win the fight on the scorecards because Canelo is, you know what I mean? We're not doing the politics shit tonight. But you got to beat Canelo in order to beat Canelo.